She is Tatiana Suarez. She is kind enough to join us now. Hello, Tatiana. How are you?
Good. How are you?
How? Oh, wow. From the car. Is everything okay? Are you all right? Did we disturb you?
No. I just it's hot in Vegas and
Oh yeah.
I have to charge my phone
Oh
and I don't like
no.
sitting inside the house too much.
By the way, is that a tattoo on your arm or is that a bruise? I can't quite tell on your like bicep.
That's
Yeah.
a that's a tattoo.
Oh, okay.
I've had it for a long
Is it T
year.
for Tatiana?
No, it's just a heart. Me and my sister got it together.
Okay. Does it symbolize anything or is it just
She
like
has hers on she has hers on her wrist and then I got mine right here. No, it doesn't symbolize anything, just flowers, but we got it together, so it's very symbolic to me because
okay.
we have the same one.
Yes. What was your sister at your fight? I know you mentioned a few times your family was there and you were so happy. Was she among the family members there?
She actually was, and like it's very rare that my sister gets to come because of school and everything. Like she's been in school, so she was able to come. It was summer, so I'm really happy about that because people we look very similar. So like people that don't know me a lot of times go and ask her for photos. She's like,
Oh,
I'm
wow. What was it like having your
so
family there? Because I know you mentioned this a few times, so it seemed to have meant a lot to you. And why did it mean so much to you to have them there? Because of course you fought a few months ago, but I think they couldn't go to that one because that was at the Apex.
right, yeah, absolutely. It means a lot to me just because my family is very supportive and um my family hasn't had the opportunity to share these types of moments with me the last few years. So, so it's just been really nice to be able to share that moment with them because, my mom, she worked really hard trying to keep us out of trouble, when we're growing up. Like, my mom was a single parent. So, I think like she did the best that she could and like putting us in wrestling and making sure that we stayed busy, we were active and stuff. Those things, and like not only that, but it was just her. So she had to support us all on her own, financially. And that's difficult in itself. So being able to share that moment. And then my grandma is like never ever missed any of my like wrestling events. She always went to every single wrestling event. My grandma went, my uncle went, my older brother went. He brought his daughter
Wow.
but he has a video of her like putting her hand out, to and Billy Q actually like hit her hand and she was like super excited about it and I was just like I'm just happy that she was able to experience that, that's a really cool moment for
That is amazing. And how old is she?
her. My niece, she's 12.
She's 12. Did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, you mentioned getting trouble as a kid. Like, did you get into trouble a lot as a kid?
No, but it definitely was in the area where I could get into a lot of trouble,
Okay.
But I chose to wrestle. My mom put us in sports and she made sure that we stayed busy. I think like we're blessed in that sense where, we put our focus into wrestling and sports and stuff like that and school. So my mom was very, she's strict, but it's good because we stayed out of trouble.
By the way, could you do me a favor? Like the top half of your head is getting cut off. If you could, do you mind pen? Yeah, there you go. That's much better. Much,
That way.
yes, much much better. I don't know if that's annoying for you to hold it like that because now you're. How's that? Is that annoying?
No,
Sounds like it's
it's
annoying.
just a little bit harder.
Okay.
I don't mind.
I'm trying to look out
No,
for you
it
because it's
sounds
it's
like it.
cutting off like right at your like eyes here. So this is better for me.
you're like, you're like, hello?
No, no, it's like cutting off here, and trust me, you'll know what I mean. Anyway, uh, what did you think when you went from Virna to Andrade? Obviously, that's a step up. Were you happy with? Did you feel like okay, this expedites things a little bit? That was my perception of it. How did you feel?
Yeah, I was actually excited just because like I had mentioned in a couple of interviews just like the opponent change allowed me to also gave me the opportunity to fight somebody who had a lot of accolades. She's competed in 3 different weight classes. She has like 36 fights. I looked it up. She has like a lot of submissions. I think maybe 8 or 9, and like a bunch of TKOs or KOs. So like for me, I'm like, that's somebody that I want to fight. You know what I mean? Because it shows that she's dangerous. Um, it shows that she has experience, much more experience than I do in that cage. And so and not only that, but she was ranked, and she was a former champion. So and then she also fought for a world title at 125 as well. So I felt like at first I was a little nervous because when they told me like they didn't, Verna was, I was sad, one, because I didn't want her to be injured. She just came off an injury. But then also I was like, well, now who am I going to fight? Am I going to have to fight up instead of down? Like, and I really wanted to fight like, ahead of me. I wanted to get closer to the title shot. So I was a little nervous that maybe I'd have to fight someone like, like maybe 10 or 11, 12. I mean, who knows what I was going to get. But I got a really great matchup, and it was really quick, like literally like a day, So I wasn't left in the loop for too long. You know what I mean? And then they were trying to get me to fight maybe like in Singapore, and I didn't want to fight in Singapore.
Right. Did you expect?
Because like I really wanted to fight in the States.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a long trip. Did you expect to dominate her like that?
Yeah. I did think that I had that skills to do exactly what I just did. Just because I manage my range really well. I have really good footwork. And obviously my wrestling's really, really good, and my submission game is good as well. So I did think that I could do exactly what I did. And this camp, I was able to actually train the way I usually train. So that gave me a lot of confidence. And, I was able to spar a lot this camp. My last camp, I was not able to do that. So it was really weird going in there. But I just have so much confidence in myself that I was still able to get a really good submission win last fight as well. But I just didn't have the camp that, I know that I should have, just because I wasn't able to spar. And, I spar a lot, and I do a lot of like stand-up work. Like a lot of times I rarely even wrestle during my camps, just because I like to feel very confident with my feet. And that's what leads to the takedown.
Did you get your black belt on Saturday?
I did. I'm really excited.
Congrats. Yes, I saw them make a big deal, but I don't know if you mentioned it in the when did they give that to you?
Right when I won.
Wow, they had it ready. What if you didn't win via
Yeah.
submission? Would they have still given it to you?
That's what I asked. And I had asked Pat, and he was like, well, I think that he was just going to give you your black belt regardless. But, because I mean, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like 10 years now. And, I have like multiple submission wins. Even on the Ultimate Fighter, I submitted my way all the way through. So, I know they don't count on my record, but if they did,
Yeah.
that'd be like 2 more extra,
Right.
submission wins on my resume. So I mean, I have that. And like when I first came to at Millennium MMA, I thought I was just gonna do jiu-jitsu. I didn't even think I was gonna fight. And I was like, I'm gonna be a black belt world champion, and I'm gonna do this and that. And then all of a sudden, I'm fighting. I'm like, okay, this is different, but I like it.
And you're very good at it. By the way, how was the cut to 115? First time in a while.
It was, I was so worried just because I've never have, I got bigger, you know, um, over the years because I had to do a lot of rehab for my neck and then my knee, and that you just like add a lot of muscle. And like over COVID, all I did was lift and hit mitts and stuff like that. So I did put on some muscle mass, and I thought it would make it a lot harder for me. And I came in heavier than I usually do when I cut to 115. So I thought, man, I have my work cut out for me, especially this is my first time being back at 115. But man, my Dr. Anna Gelpin has the science down, because I mean, I made that weight so easy. I mean, I literally had 5.6 pounds the day of, or the day before, and I literally just like It was like an hour and 15 minutes and it was off. And my team was like shocked. They're like, how did you do that? And I was like, and I didn't even feel that bad. Like I woke up in the morning, I took a shower, I got ready. I mean, I didn't feel like some of those people like were like getting carried to the scale, and I was nowhere near getting carried to the scale, you know. So I mean, I was like super, super pleasantly surprised. And not only that, but my recovery was amazing. I mean, I felt like I could do whatever I did like 10 times over. Like my cardio felt amazing. And I kept saying that when during my camp, I was like, I'm not getting tired. I'm not getting tired. Am I working hard enough? And they're like, yeah, Tatiana, you just like were dominating in the stand up, and then you know, you're like taking people down and like submitting them like over and over and over again each round. And they're like, yeah, I think you're working hard enough, you know, maybe even work a little less.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so
So I mean, my cardio felt really great.
so I said on Monday, like, let's stop beating around the bush. You should fight for the belt next. The title fight is happening next weekend. Like you are in line with it. It's perfect. So is this going to happen? You fight the winner of Zhang Weili and Amanda Lemos. Let's go. What are we waiting for?
I mean, I think I should. I mean, I'm you know me, Ariel. Though I'm not entitled or anything. You
No,
know,
I
I'm
know.
not. But I do think that, you know, I should be, you know, thought about when it comes to who's going to fight them next, you know, in terms of the business standpoint. I think that it makes sense, you know, for the UFC, even business wise, you know, like I'm an undefeated fighter coming off a long layoff, got 2 submission wins in a row, and, you know, beat the former world champion at that weight. I mean, I think it makes for a good, you know, a good storyline for them, you know, for a business standpoint.
Yes.
But you know, and I know Jan's there too, um, and I know she has a couple career, you know, a couple wins in a row too. But you know, I think before that she was on a like 2 fight losing streak, and then she pulled off a couple wins. Um, you know, so I think that we're both up there in terms of the title. But I just think that mine just shouts like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. And from a business standpoint, for them, for the UFC. And for me, I just want a title shot because I think that it's been a long time coming. I've worked my way up twice now. You know, the first time, you know, it was against, and I didn't have the opportunity to do that. You know, I got my win over Nina, and then I was injured and I was off for 3 years, and I didn't have the, you know, the opportunity to even fight for the belt. And I did it all over again. You know, I you know, worked my way up. I told them whatever they want to give me, and I did it. And whatever they've asked, I've done. So, um, yeah.
What are you feeling? What is your sense? You were there in Nashville. It's been a couple days. Do you think you will be next? Are you feeling
Yeah.
confident?
I'm not sure, but I'll be there. You
You're
know,
going to
I'll be
Boston?
there to watch them fight. Yeah, I'm gonna go there to
Smart.
watch. You know, I want to see them live. You know, me and Wiley. You know, at first I had picked Lemos to win, but I watched them again. I'm gonna watch them again. You know, watch their fights again, just so that I could kind of see from you know a technical standpoint who I think is gonna win that fight. Because I like to do that. You know, I'm a MMA nerd. You know, and so I'm just gonna go and see who I think will probably win that fight. Determine, you know, there's a lot of things that factor in. I think Lemos has some good power, so we have to factor that in. But so does Wei Li, you know. So and she has great footwork and stuff. So it's gonna be a really interesting matchup. I just know that they're gonna put on a really good show.
Are you is there any part of you that is rooting for Zhang Weili to win because perhaps she's more popular at the moment and it's a bigger fight? Do you care about that sort of thing?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't really, you know, I think I would root for Wei Li more so from a personal standpoint. Like, I've seen her a couple times. She's a really nice person. She seems very genuine, and I like that, you know. So, um, you know, she just like, just, you know, her overall personality, you know, I think she's like, you know, deserves to be where she's at. And, you know, and then I will have the opportunity to fight, you know, fight her and I think that's a good fight for me. I mean, either of them, but I'm just saying, like I like who she is. I don't really personally know Lemos at all, so I couldn't tell
Yeah.
you, but I do know her. So I'm sure Lemos is great too,
Yes,
but
yes, yes. If it
I've only had the opportunity to get to know Bailey a little bit.
if they go in a different direction,
She's taught me a couple of things in Chinese.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But if they go in a different direction, is there anyone else that you think I can't imagine it's more than one fight. I personally think you should be next, but I can't imagine it'd be more. Is there anyone else that makes sense in your opinion that gets you excited?
I know that, I could maybe potentially just fight Jan. I
Okay.
mean, I don't even mind that one. So if they want us to fight for like, okay, this is the number one, you guys are two contenders. We're gonna have you guys fight. I mean, I'm willing to do that, but I don't know if they'll do that. I think that they have two good contenders that they can have, that they can line up there. And then, maybe but maybe they'll just have us both fight each other. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking over there, but
I threw
um
out if they did Yan versus Zhang
I
Wei Li, that maybe like you versus Mackenzie Dern or something like that. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't care. I always say yes to every matchup, but I just think like, I mean, like I was just really thinking about like I really want to fight somebody above me as
Okay.
opposed to someone below me. And not only that, but she just fought Angela Hill, which I don't think is even, in the top.
Hmm.
I don't know if Angela Hill's in the top 10 or not. So I'm thinking like that's not really an impressive win to me in terms of that. But I think she's a great fighter. I don't care who I really fight, but I'm just thinking more
I
in the
get it.
standpoint like would I deserve a title shot if I beat, Mackenzie Dern, as opposed to like if I beat Jan, who's like higher in the rankings, who beat Mackenzie Dern. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like that way. Like, what I want I'd rather beat the person who beat the other person.
I
You know what I
get
mean?
it.
Because Jan has a victory over, yeah, Wiley. I mean, not Wiley, Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking of what if they go with Zhang versus Yan and you want to wait. But could I ask like what is it like for you? Like people like me and everyone else, it seems like we talk about it like it's a done deal. Like, oh yeah, you're going to be champion. It's as they say, fait accompli. It's a done deal. It's going to happen. When you hear that sort of thing, obviously I'm sure it sounds good, but you don't want to just like believe it. You still have to go out there and do it. How do you not let that
Do it.
make your head get too big and be like, oh, this is a done deal. It's going to be a cakewalk. Like, does it affect you in any way? Would you prefer people don't say that when talking about you? How do you respond when you hear that sort of thing?
No, I mean, I don't really put too much value in it. I mean, it's obviously very like complimentary to me, like a very good compliment saying that about me. But you know, at the end of the day, I know that I'll put in the work to be the champion. I'll do everything that I can to be the champion. So I know that I have to go and do that. I have to make sure that I put in that camp, put in the hours. But I just need to be myself, and then that will happen. You know what I mean? And whatever everybody's expectations of me are, you know, an afterthought. Not really something that I really put too much value in. Obviously, I'm like, flattered. That's very complimentary to me, but I mean, I think I don't really put so much into it. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. Like people have been saying that for years, and I still don't feel the pressure of that. And I just kind of do me.
I get
Just
it.
go ahead. I train, and then I show up, and I win,
And you
and
win.
that's all that
I, I
matters.
I love that. I love the I show up at and then the I win. Just the way you said that shows that you're still very humble. Are you champion at 115 by January 1st?
Was that sarcasm?
No, no, that was that because you like you want to say it, you believe it, you know it, but you didn't want to like stamp it. January 1st, are you champion?
Oh, I mean, man, I hope like that would be the time frame. That would be amazing because that means I have 3 fights in 1 year. And man, would that be amazing, especially considering how much time I was off, and I come back and I do it in a year. That
Yeah.
would be so sick, uh, for me, in terms of my story. And I know that Full Send had like said something about like maybe one day you'll have a 30 for 30, and I'm like, I think that he's probably right. Maybe I could have.
What a year it would be for you and Patchy like if you get that done this year, sheesh. Unbelievable, right?
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, I don't know when he's gonna fight, and I can't wait for that. But hopefully, we're not in the same. We're not in the camp at the same time. But if we are,
You
it
don't like
doesn't
it.
hurt really.
You don't
Just
like when
can't be
you're
the
at
same.
camps
Just can't.
you're like peaking together. No, is that not good?
No, I mean it's cool. I mean, a lot of times, like like sometimes we help each other a little bit more. When we're not
Okay.
having the camp at the same time. Like we'll be able to be like help each other with it. Because sometimes when we're both training, we're so tired that we're not really able
Sure.
to help one another as much. But he trains crazy all the time, so I don't know. He's he's always training like he's about to fight somebody, but he's not.
Okay.
And so am I. So I think we just really like to train.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. By the way, last thing, Nashville, fun place. People love it. Did you enjoy it?
So Nashville is different. It's not really so much my scene in terms of like because it's like a huge party town, and I didn't even know. But they have like music and stuff, which I love music. And then they have great food, which I love food. But I wasn't able to really eat all week.
Yeah.
So like the last, and then like I don't really eat too crazy when after my weigh-ins. Like I eat relatively very modest. Like I want to be like well fed, but not too well fed. You know what I mean? Because it keeps the hunger in here,
Oh yeah.
and you need that when you go out there. So it's like I said, like it like makes it a little bit more animalistic. Like I'm gonna go hunt for my food.
I like wow, that is intense. All right, I love that. Well, you did just that on Saturday. Submitted Jessica Andrade, one of the best ever. Very impressive. Congratulations on another big win. We hope you get the title shot next, and we'll see what happens there. But always appreciate you coming on, Tatiana. Thank you so much for the time, and good luck in Boston over there. That's a very smart move that you're going there. So well done.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. There she is, Tatiana Suarez. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You can get many more of these videos on the channel. So please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.